Yellowstone has ended, but did Jamie pay for his sins? Find out with me as we deep dive the Yellowstone finale. Episode 13 was a slow one. We saw Yellowstone Ranch reaching its end for good as Beth sold everything and anything that could get them some money. Horses, land, equipment, all of it went on sale and made them enough money to cover debt payments for a year. It bought them time, but that's not enough to pay taxes, and to fix that, Casey had a plan. But that plan has nothing to do with the real culprit behind John Dutton's murder, Jamie. But we saw in the series finale teaser that Beth wants to take care of that problem. Did she finally do that? Well, that is one question that the finale certainly answers. I have watched the show, and let me tell you, be prepared for waterworks and a shocking ending. Before I reveal it all, I have to request my new viewers to hit the subscribe button to support the modern Cowgirl. If you're enjoying my content so far, spread the word to help the channel grow. And finally, like this video if you're eager to find out what's next in the Yellowstone universe. We're talking 1923 Season 2 updates and other confirmed spin-off updates. The sun is setting on Yellowstone Ranch, and episode 14 is filled with bittersweet nostalgia. I'm glad Sheridan decided to add one final get-together in the last episode, where all the Yellowstone members reminisce about the good old days over drinks. Even Laramie makes an appearance, and for once, everything seems good. Last time we saw her, she was still a divisive character, blamed by some for stirring up trouble among the ranch hands. But this time, she returns in a new light, especially after her real-life marriage to Walker, played by Ryan Bingham. Her screen time may be brief, but the chemistry between them is undeniable. If you missed it, go back and check out my Hassie Harrison episode with a full rundown of their wedding. It was packed with Yellowstone and cowboy references. Hassie and Ryan both rocked Western-style outfits, and the fact that they tied the knot on a family ranch made it even better. I think it's pretty obvious how thrilled I was to see Hassie back on screen alongside Ryan. As pleasant as her appearance was, many questions left unanswered in previous episodes also become clear. For example, does Teeter leave? Well, we now know she's actually going to work under Travis back in Texas. Travis makes you work hard and earn his respect. I know Teeter will thrive in that environment, as hard work is her middle name. I, for one, was glad that this was the only Travis scene in the finale after last week's Taylor Sheridan Ego episode. Teeter isn't the only one planning for the future. The rest of the ranch crew is also forging new paths. Walker, Jake, Ethan, and Teeter land new jobs, while Ryan, who initially sets out to roam, ultimately finds his way back to Abby, played by Lainey Wilson. True blue cowgirls will love this episode, as Lainey has won us over throughout the years. Also, big congratulations to Lainey on her engagement. She recently revealed her engagement with Duck Hodges. If you're new to her work but enjoyed her performance, be sure to check out my Lainey Wilson Spotlight video. It's safe to say the Yellowstone crew has found their path. Everyone knows what's next, except Rip. He spent most of his life devoted to the ranch, and now that it's been ripped away, he's left without a clear direction. That's why he's been pouring his energy into taking care of those around him, offering money, resources, and making sure everyone has a job. But while Rip is busy looking out for others, Beth has been planning for him. In a surprising turn, she reveals that she's already bought a massive piece of land just outside Dillon, Montana. The opening of episode 14 feels like a solemn farewell, a final wrap-up. There are smiles, but also a sense of closure. Even with the ranch shutting down, we know everyone will be okay. Still, it's gut-wrenching to realize that the family John Dutton built will no longer be together. The silver lining? They're all still connected, leaving the door open for a reunion down the road. But just when we think that Yellowstone is over, a reality check is presented to us. John Dutton's death is still unavenged. The central setting of the episode is the funeral, held at the ranch. It's a modest affair with no formal ceremony. The funeral is solemn and intimate, reflecting John's legacy. It concludes with Rip personally laying John to rest, vowing to protect and care for Beth, fulfilling a promise that carries deep emotional weight. Beth is not going to rest until her father is avenged, and Jamie is fighting tooth and nail to shift the blame. He's gone as far as to pretend to be a nice guy who's looking to find the real murderer. I have to give it to him, his speech is quite convincing. But little does he know, Casey is 10 steps ahead. While Jamie is busy shifting the blame, Casey has drafted the perfect plan to secure the ranch's future. He strikes a deal with Thomas Rainwater, selling the Yellowstone land for $1.25 an acre, the same amount they bought it for from the tribe many generations ago. In return, Rainwater pledges to restore the land to its natural state. Rainwater begins returning the land to its original condition, as seen toward the end of the episode when tribal members dismantle the barn, the Dutton home, and every human-made structure on the property. This scene is quite powerful if you ask me. While we have all grown to love and adore the Yellowstone clan, it's a fact that the land didn't originally belong to them. The Yellowstone land has deep roots in indigenous culture, home to generations who once lived and thrived there. For those who still remain nearby, knowing the land no longer belongs to them has been a lingering pain for years. So, to finally see it return to its rightful owners feels like a long overdue moment of justice, a reckoning that acknowledges the past while shaping the future. And you know what? Rainwater may be able to take care of the land better than anyone else because he has a solid plan. Rainwater and his tribe aren't using the land for trade or commercial purposes. It's their legacy. That also means they can declare it a wilderness area, which is key. Why? Because once it's designated as a wilderness area, it's permanently protected from any kind of development. As Beth put it, she couldn't keep the land, but she did save it. So in the end, they won. The Yellowstone Ranch is gone, but the land will remain untouched, welcoming horses and people on their own 2 feet. No machines, no trailers, no construction, ever. This was John Dutton's greatest fear, that his ranch would one day be swallowed up by malls and tourist attractions. While Casey and Beth couldn't keep the land, they made sure their father's true goal was fulfilled. The Yellowstone will remain untouched, its vast greenery preserved, just as he always wanted. One may think the show is over now that all conflicts have been resolved. But Beth hasn't forgotten about Jamie. With the ranch saved and the future of all members secured, Beth has nothing to lose, and it becomes pretty clear that she's willing to put it all on the line to avenge her father when she drives off from the funeral to Jamie's house armed with bear spray. The ending of Yellowstone is chaotic, to say the least. In an action-packed scene, we find out just how cunning Jamie can be. After several punches, and as always, Rip saving Beth, fans can take a sigh of relief, knowing that John Dutton was avenged and Jamie has met his maker. In true Yellowstone fashion, Rip and Lloyd take care of Jamie's remains, and we have an abrupt ending to Jamie's character. The cover-up seems a little suspect, but hey, this is Hollywood. However, I wouldn't be surprised if this came back and bit Rip and Beth in the butt in their upcoming spin-off series. Yellowstone's favorite couple has many demons in their closet, and I am sure we'll see them reappear in the future. The show ends with Rip locking down the Yellowstone Ranch. In a poignant and bittersweet moment, he takes down the iconic ranch sign. The land is then returned to the indigenous people, honoring their ancestral birthright. Meanwhile, Casey begins building his own legacy, starting by purchasing cattle at an auction and teaching his son the fundamentals of ranching, marking the beginning of a new chapter for their family. It appears Beth and Rip's story is just starting. The two finally get away from the Yellowstone for the first time and plant their roots in a much smaller ranch in Dillon, which is their new home. We're looking forward to following this storyline in the confirmed spin-off, where Beth and Rip have officially signed on. The spin-off makes one thing clear: Rip and Beth's story is far from over. I have a feeling about where things might go, especially since Rip still doesn't know the truth about Beth's past, the decision that left her unable to have children. How will he react when he finds out? Will it drive a wedge between them, or will they find a way through it? Not to mention the aftermath of Jamie's murder. Only time and the spin-off will tell. The ending of the show is satisfactory. Everyone is happy, has their own home, and the burden of the Yellowstone Ranch is finally off. In Casey's words, they are all free. However, fans will surely miss seeing them share a glass of vodka in the saloon, ride the dust away, and the hilarious banter. By the end of the finale, some questions are still left unanswered. Like, did the cops really buy Beth's story? How was no one suspicious when Jamie never returned home? Well, it seems fans will have to answer these questions themselves and find peace in the answers. What do you think of the last episode? Did it hit the mark? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this series' breakdowns, then please subscribe to The Modern Cowgirl and like this video. Yellowstone may be over, but I have some exciting new videos coming soon. Trust me, you don't want to miss them if you love Yellowstone, so hit the bell icon and turn your notifications on.